Hey, this is Ed Logan. I want to welcome you to Fruit for Your Life. Today, I have a very special guest with me, Mr. Lawrence Richardson. We were able to meet each other actually on another page, another group. And since that time, we've actually gotten together and been able to chat. And today, I thought it would be a good time for you all to know who he is. So let me introduce to you Mr. Lawrence Richardson, and we're going to let him tell us about him. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Thank you so much, Ed. I really appreciate you allowing me on your show to basically tell you about my testimony of how I went through a plant-based lifestyle and fitness that changed my life. So, Edward, most of my life, I've had ups and downs regarding health. I've struggled with sleep apnea, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. Growing up, I also ate the standard American diet, which contributed to my unhealthy lifestyle. In my early 30s, my doctor made me aware that I had type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. I decided to do a 60-day juice fast based on a YouTube video I was inspired by. I made it all the way to 55 days, and I lost 50 pounds total. I felt amazing after the juice fast was complete. After the juice fast, I ate primarily raw fruits and vegetables. About 1 year later, I decided to get into bodybuilding and started eating meat. For 4 years of bodybuilding, I trained hard, lost a lot of weight, but struggled with the restrictive diet. After my bodybuilding competitions, I would go off on my diet and binge on junk food. I would gain so much unhealthy weight after my bodybuilding shows, and it mentally devastated me. This cycle repeated for 4 years. My relationship with food was very unhealthy. I decided to stop competing in bodybuilding because it was so restrictive, and I felt like it wasn't helping my long-term health. So fast forward a little bit, 10 months ago, I had a physical, and my doctor told me that my type 2 diabetes and cholesterol and high blood pressure were out of control. I was put on 3 prescription medications and advised to go on a plant-based diet. I followed my doctor's advice, did my research on plant-based lifestyle, and jumped into it head first. Over the last 10 months, I have fully adopted a plant-based lifestyle while incorporating physical fitness. I have lost 50 plus pounds, and I'm no longer on prescription medications, and I'm thriving.
Wow. So you've had a real health transformation, and it appears just by looking at some of your photos that you have had a real body transformation as well. So it was more of a health reason that you actually got started doing this. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. It was 100% a health reason. I mean, sitting at a doctor's office 10 months ago and then them telling me how poor my health was, it was really alarming because I was only 40 years old at the time. You know, I have a young family. I have a 4-year-old daughter and 4-year-old and 2-year-old daughter and a lovely wife. And I wanted to be here for the long run to take care of them. And I knew with the lifestyle that I had at the time, there was going to be no way I was going to be able to be productive and take care of them in the way that they deserve. So health was primarily the reason why I made that change.
Okay. So now let me ask you this. How is your family feeling about the changes you have made? Are they how did they affect your change actually?
Sure, sure. So they affected my change in a huge way. As I mentioned, they are my why for why I decided to adopt a plant-based lifestyle. You know, the reason why I get up, I work hard every day. The reason why I've changed my life for the best and have lost 50 plus pounds.
Mhm.
And I'm still working hard every day to make my health better for longevity purposes. So they basically inspired me to change my health, and in addition to that, I've also inspired them with my healthy changes. I've,
Right.
my kids, they look at daddy's smoothies in the morning. They're like, smoothie. And so I'm making smoothies for them and myself. And my wife, she's really enjoying some of the plant-based dishes I eat throughout the day. You know, she eats those dishes as well from time to time, and they give her a lot of energy. So I've been a big influence on them as well as them being an influence on me.
Okay. Hey, I'm kind of noticing just a little bit of lag, everyone. So it seems like the audio is working great, but there's just a little bit of lag behind. So we're going to go ahead and continue, and you're going to be able to hear everything okay. It's just you're going to see me lagging behind a little bit. So we're going to focus most of our attention on Lawrence anyway. So we'll try to get this platform worked out. But I'm very excited to have him here with us. Now, tell me something. how do you ensure? Now you're a bodybuilder also, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you make sure that you get your proper nutrients? Like, I'm gonna give you for an example. Okay, like for me, I eat when I'm hungry, and if I'm not hungry, I don't eat. Or if I'm at work and I notice that something is going on, like I'm feeling lightheaded because I'm
Yeah.
doing something strenuous, I know that
Mhm.
I haven't eaten enough, so I go and eat. So how do you ensure for yourself that you're getting the proper nutrients that you need to build that body?
Absolutely. So for myself, I take a scientific approach to it. I look at my body mass index and I plug my information into calculators. And so it asks you your age, your daily expenditures, what kind of job do you have, and your activity level. And so I go in there and I plug in my information and it spits out basically the rough amount of calories I need nutritionally to thrive with the fitness lifestyle that I live as well. And then from there, I also look at my macronutrients. That's a ratio of your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fats. And because I do a lot of running, because I do a lot of weightlifting, my nutritional macronutrients profile is around 60% carbohydrates, 20% proteins, and 20% fats. That's for someone who's very athletic, like a triathlon or something like that. And so after I plug in all those numbers, I take the information to my fitness pal. And I start to put in plant-based foods that will calculate up to my macronutrients profile and the set calories I need to eat during the day. And right now I'm eating about 5 meals a day. And so each of those meals calculates around the amount of calories I need a day and the macronutrients set point I need to thrive and be healthy with my lifestyle. And so that's how I ensure that I'm getting enough nutrients every day to be healthy and to thrive with the fitness I'm doing as well.
Okay, now see, you're teaching me something because, as you've heard me say before, I don't count calories. I don't count any macronutrients, no anything. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't know how to do that if I had to. So, I sit and I admire people like you who can delve into those things. I guess, of course, being a bodybuilder, you kind of have to figure those things out, especially when you're trying to get the pecs to stick out. When you ain't want to take too much away from your body, you want everything to work just right. Of course, a lot
Yeah.
of bodybuilders, they do measure their food and they do know what the caloric intake and stuff like that is. But, I just, for me, because I'm not a bodybuilder. I wish that I
Yeah.
was. But, for me, I normally go off of my body and what my body tells me. So it's good to see, from the other side, someone who does count, because I have a lot of people on my page who ask me, how many calories do you take in a day? And you know what I say to them?
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't count it.
Right.
I eat when
Right.
I'm hungry, and when I'm not hungry, I don't eat. So, how would somebody begin to figure that out if they were wanting to do it the way that you were doing and be very detailed? First of all, let people know what you do as a career so they can understand why you're so detailed.
Yeah, so I work as a senior plumbing engineer and project manager. So a lot of my job basically is creating construction documents for the contractor to install plumbing and fire protection systems in commercial buildings or hospitals or whatnot. In addition, I've also have project manager responsibilities where I'm working with the stakeholders to figure out their pain points to solve problems for their institution. But back to your question, how to figure out your calories and stuff like that. You basically can Google how to figure out your daily calorie needs. And from there, it'll send you straight to a calculator, which, like I said, it's basically a survey that asks you your age, your weight, what's your lifestyle like, and are you trying to maintain your weight? Are you trying to lose a certain amount of weight by a certain period of time? And then once you go to that website, it'll basically tell you very simply after like 3 minutes of a survey how many calories you need. So you take that information and then you plug that into your MyFitnessPal, and then you can build your meals and add it up to the calories you need. And then within MyFitnessPal, there's also another graph that says, I believe it's like macronutrients. And from there, you can see your profile in a graph of what your carbohydrates are, what your fats are, what your proteins are. And then if they aren't quite what they need to be, you can essentially go through and modify accordingly your carbohydrates and your fats until you get it right on point to what your nutritional needs are. And so that's basically my methodology on doing it.
Okay, so tell me what actually inspired you to go raw. Like, why didn't you look at veganism, or why didn't you look at something else beside that?
Yeah, good point. So to be honest with you, I eat a lot of raw, but I also eat a lot of cooked food as well. But for me, I thought the whole plant based food options were more healthier. I know a vegan, sometimes you can get into like vegan junk food, and I think that's maybe good for transitional, but it's not something I necessarily recommend because for me, I'm looking for longevity. I'm looking for health. And I'm not looking for a substitute. I'm looking for something that's going to allow me to thrive and give me a lot of energy. So I can, like I said, take care of my family. And so I can have fun with my hobbies such as bodybuilding or running half marathons. And that's the reason why I chose the whole food plant based because of the amount of energy I'm receiving from it and the health benefits as well.
Now, have you experienced any digestion issues since you've switched over? Like, have you noticed your digestion change since you have switched over to raw?
Tremendously. So at one point in time, I did a watermelon fast, 14 days straight. And, I didn't realize how fast watermelon would digest in your body. So I was eating the watermelon in the morning, 30 minutes to an hour later, it was essentially coming right out. And so I was just so fascinated with how quickly fruit or watermelon or fruits in general that are water based, how quickly they digest. So, another point is I'm using the restroom several times a day. You know, Eating a standard American diet, I might use it once a day. I might use it every other day. But with the plant-based options I'm eating, I'm essentially almost using a restroom every time I'm eating something. So my restroom, my bowel movements are a little bit more efficient compared to my previous diet.
Okay. So I noticed the change, with me as well. I would say that I'd never had a problem using the restroom, but boy, when I switched over to, for me, I do a lot of fruits, and I know you
Mhm.
do a lot of raw vegan produce, and you
Yes,
also do fruits as well. So unlike
correct.
me, where I focus mostly on fruits, yours is just a little bit different. Do you notice a difference between when you eat mostly fruit or when you eat mostly plants? Can you tell a difference, or is it about the same for you as far as your digestion?
Sure. Well, that's a great question. I would say my digestion is a little quicker when I'm eating fruits. When I'm eating vegetables, it's still efficient. I'm still using it, but I think with the fruits, I'm eliminating a lot quicker.
Okay. Now, I know people are going to be like, "Man, this is kind of in depth." But as far as like urination, have you noticed how many times a day that you have to urinate because you're doing raw? That plant that we eat is putting water back into our body, and so the fruit that we eat is putting water back into our body also. So have you noticed, urination has increased since you started going raw?
Absolutely, great question. So when I was doing primarily all fruits, especially watermelon, man, I was going so often. I had to stay near to a restroom often, or I might have been in trouble. But I'm definitely urinating a lot more frequently, especially the more fruit I eat in a day.
Okay. So now tell me what health benefits that you have noticed. I know you said you had high blood, type 2 diabetes. So what has happened since then? And for those of you who are watching this video, there's no sense in you watching my big head lag behind anyway. So we're going to focus right now on Lawrence at this point. So what have you noticed since then?
Yes, sir. So a week ago, I had a appointment with my primary care doctor, and we've been working together for like the last 10 months. And every 3 months, I would get checked my blood sugar, my cholesterol levels, and my blood pressure. And every so often, I mean, my results would just get better. I think after the first 3 months, my cholesterol went down by over 180 points or something like that. So my cholesterol was out of control. My blood sugar now is in normal range, whereas before it was like around 8.9 for people who know the statistics on that. So as a result of me making this lifestyle change, I'm off my medications, and that's it's been a first for me as an adult. So I'm no longer taking my high cholesterol medications or my diabetes medications. Everything I'm doing now is controlled with my lifestyle. So I'm essentially using this plant-based lifestyle as my medicine so that I don't have to, rely on prescription medication. So it's been a huge blessing.
Wow. So you can incorporate that extra cost that you were paying for prescription medications. You can roll that over into your food. I take it.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's awesome. Now let's move over a little bit into the muscular side. What's your bodybuilding exercise regimen?
Absolutely. So my regimen is basically 6 days a week. Let's say, for example, on Mondays, each day I'm isolating different body parts. So Monday might be a chest with a biceps workout. Next day might be lower body. So I'm doing basically hamstrings or leg extensions or things like that. The next day, Wednesday, might be a back day. Thursday is probably going to be a shoulder day. I might have another day where I'm focused primarily on just building my arms. And then I might have another day where I might be working on just upper chest or whatnot. But these workouts for each body part, probably about 7 exercises where I'm doing 4 sets for each exercise, 12 to 15 reps. So I'm basically using lighter weights where I can control the weight, and I'm burning that muscle. And the goal is for each exercise let's say I'm doing 12 reps. At that 12th rep, I'm looking to almost be at failure point. So I'm tearing up the muscle, and then I'm eating a plant-based nutrition to repair my body and help it, recover. So the plant-based nutrition is very important to my muscle building things I'm doing right now. And then the sleep I'm getting right now is very important for recovery. But one thing I wanted to mention is I feel like I recover a lot quicker on this plant-based lifestyle than when I was eating meat. Oftentimes after each workout, the next day I would feel sore from the intense workout. But with this plant-based lifestyle I'm eating, I don't feel as sore. I feel like my recovery is a lot quicker and my body recovers more efficiently.
Wow. Okay, so you're saying that you work on, let's say you'll do arms on one day, you'll do legs on another day, you'll do the back on another day. Do you ever work on the same body part twice or 3 times in one week, or is it just once, pretty much a week for each part?
Great question. The only time I double up on a body part during a weekday is if I have a lagging body part that needs to be built up in comparison to the rest of my physique. But primarily, for example, like legs. If I'm doing a leg day, squats, burning the quads, I'm usually not going to touch that muscle until the following week. So each body part, usually I get about a week to recover, and then I'll revisit the next week, utilizing the same routine.
Okay, so I take it that you're burning quite a bit of calories during that time. So what does your body require as far as calories?
Absolutely. So right now, I'm kind of in the cutting phase. I'm probably around 249 pounds right now, and my goal is to get around 225 or so. That's kind of the weight I was when I competed in bodybuilding back in the day. So right now, I'm eating probably around 2,400 calories a day, and my macronutrients profile is around 60 carbohydrates, 20 fat, and 20 protein. And that keeps me feeling energized. I'm able to run up to, at times, 8 miles a day, and still also do bodybuilding toward the end of the day. And I have no problem with energy levels or recovery.
Wow, you're running 8 miles a day?
Well, correction. Right now, because I'm preparing for a half marathon, there is a point during the week where I have to run a longer period of time. So before then, it's like a build-up. At the beginning of the week, I might be running a recovery run for 15 minutes. Then there might be little intervals where I'm running for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. But at the end of the week is my longest run. I'm now at, I believe, week 10 of 14 for my half marathon training. So this past week was 8.1 miles I had to run at one period of time. Now this week for my half marathon training assignment, I'm running 12.1 miles. But it's a slow build up to that. It's not going to be every day, but one day during the week.
Wow. Now, let me ask you this: does that affect your muscle loss, or does that affect, as far as that energy that you're using to run, does that affect the size of your muscles? Basically, that's
Yes.
what I'm asking.
So they always say a runner can't be a bodybuilder, and to a certain extent, I agree with that. It's not. I wouldn't recommend running longer distances and trying to become a bodybuilder at the same time. But because my longest run is only once a week, and my other runs are shorter periods of time, my body is still allowing me to build muscle respectively without burning the glycogen and things like that, like I would if I would run longer periods of time every day of the week. So if you're trying to be a bodybuilder, it's not recommended to do a tremendous amount of cardio on an everyday basis. A little bit's good, like steady state or sprint intervals, maybe 30 to 35 minutes a day. But those longer runs, if you keep those to maybe once a week, you still can build muscle just fine.
Wow, that's amazing. So what caused you to want to run a marathon? Is that what it is? A marathon?
Yeah, so it's
That's
a half
26
marathon.
miles, isn't it?
Well, a half marathon is 13.1 miles. And so, I came up with the goal of doing this around 10 weeks ago. As I'm getting older, I need to find new ways to challenge myself. And so I ran half marathons in the past. And I was like, I want to start doing more cardio. I'm trying to get healthier. I'm doing this plant-based, which is fantastic, but I think moving your body is so important. And so I said, let me download this app. I started training for the half a marathon. And really just the reason was to give myself something to be challenged by, because I think without a challenge, it's hard to progress in life or to feel like you want to move forward with your fitness or health goals. And so for me, it was just a challenge because I wanted to get healthier.
Okay. Wow. Man, I hope I can I hope I can become something like that one day. But right now, I have no plans of running no marathon. Maybe running around my truck or running around the block, but man, whoo, I don't know if my knees could take it now. Of course, since I've been doing this, my knees, I actually don't have any knee pain anymore, especially like I used to, because it's actually rebuilding my body. Thank goodness. So, that's really awesome to see that you are going through a change that is causing you, in fact, to act younger, not act older. It's causing you to act younger. Now, let me ask you, in regards to flabby skin. When you lost your weight, did you acquire any flabby skin, or did your muscles begin to swell and take the place of that fat?
Great question. So I didn't necessarily become flabby in different parts of my body. I think because I was walking, running, and weight training, doing strength training resistance, I didn't acquire saggy skin. I was blessed in that regards. So I think if you are losing weight, I think the best thing to do is just stay active, keep training, doing strength training and some cardio. I think that will go a long way to retaining your muscle and your body not going to fat or flabby skin and such.
So I take it that your energy levels has gone up. Could you have done this, what you're doing now, before you changed your eating lifestyle? Could you have even done half of what you're doing right now?
Absolutely not, man, because on a standard American diet, my energy levels were tanking. At the age of 40, I was like wondering, do I need to be on testosterone because I'm just not feeling healthy or energized or vibrant anymore? And so that was another reason why I decided to go get a physical and to kind of see what's going on with me. But no, after I went on a plant-based lifestyle, I'll be honest with you, probably 3 weeks, a month later, I was feeling a lot better, man. I was like, I really didn't need testosterone. What I needed was a lifestyle change. And this plant-based lifestyle has enabled me to have plenty of energy. I'm able to be productive at work. I'm able to entertain my hobbies, such as have marathons and weightlifting. And I also have enough time to come home and engage with my family and play with my girls, which is very important to have family time.
Okay. Now, how do you handle your cravings?
Mm,
Surely dealing with that American food that we have dealt with, the fried chicken, fried fish,
yeah,
all of that stuff in the restaurants. How do you deal with your cravings now, or do you not have any cravings?
really good question. So I would say how I deal with my cravings is, I don't miss how I felt when I ate those foods. You know, I when you eat them, yes, the taste is nice for the first few minutes, man. But after you eat it, you feel so sluggish. Your energy is basically on the floor. So I don't miss feeling that way. So I really don't miss eating those foods. And another thing is, I don't cook with oils or salts, which I believe make you hungrier. And so a lot of those foods that are part of the Sad American diet or Standard American diet, they have a lot of salt, they have a lot of fat, which makes you hungrier, makes you want to eat that stuff. Fat tastes good, and so for me, I don't miss how bad I used to feel, and I really appreciate how well I feel now. So I don't really have the cravings anymore because I realize how well I feel now on a plant-based diet.
Okay, do you have any problem sourcing your food? Like where you live in where you live right now. I'm not going to say where you live unless you say where you live, but I would take it that you don't have a problem finding all the types of food that you want to eat. Is that correct?
Correct. Now, so I live in Houston, Texas, and there's plenty of options. There's farmers markets. That Houston farmers market's fantastic. They have a wealth of options there as far as fruits or um, anything you need. And then, of course, there's plenty of grocery stores here, international markets where I can get everything I need with no problem. So I'm blessed to be in the area I am to have tremendous options to choose from.
Now, do you encounter any kind of misconceptions when you go to work out? And maybe some guys maybe notice, I don't know, maybe you've told people that you are, totally raw, vegan. Do they like you like getting any laughs about it? Or man, there's no way you that big and you looking like that and eating nothing but some raw produce. Do you encounter that?
So people at the gym, I honestly haven't engaged with them very much. When I go in there, I'm kind of like locked in, I'm focused, and I'm there all about business. But like at work, people they're pretty supportive, and they see me walk around, they see my physique, and I'm 6'3", 250 pounds, so I can't be missed. But no, nobody has really questioned my decision on the plant based. A lot of people do ask about the protein aspect of it. I'm not eating any animal products or anything like that, or animal flesh or whatnot. But I just tell them how I get my protein is from seeds, from grains, quinoa, lentils, chickpeas. There's also plenty of protein in fruits, leafy greens, and such. So every plant out there has some type of protein, and I just so happen to basically manipulate my choices in a way that serve me the best, and I can get the protein I need for the lifestyle that I live.
Okay. Now I got a pretty serious question for you now. All right. So you and your wife are going on a date.
Yes.
You have a date night. And you know how it is when you go on a date. What's one of the things you're going to do when you go out on a date? You're going
Order
to go
food.
get something to eat. Yeah. So how are you handling that? Like how is food affecting your date night now since
Mm-hmm.
you're raw?
Great question. So when we do go out, there's always plant-based options. They may not be what everybody wants as far as plant-based, but there are healthy options. Every place has salad. And for me, I eat a lot of salad. So if I go to a place and they only have salad options, then I'm getting several salads. If I go to a place that has great plant based options, I'll eat in abundance. But yeah, I never allow where I go dictate whether I'm successful with my lifestyle or not. I'll drink water if I have to, or I'll just eat a little salad if I have to. But my health is very important. I you know I don't deviate from it, to answer your question. So when we go out on date night, I'm successful with it because I make the right choices when I go uh, to basically benefit my lifestyle.
Really? Okay,
Yep.
so let me throw another one at you. Like, our wives, they see how we eat. And I don't know about your wife. I don't know if your wife is eating like you. Have you ever, has your wife ever felt uncomfortable by how you're eating? Has she ever said anything to you about, what you're eating and maybe she's not eating that way and she may feel, has she ever, you ever noticed that she felt uncomfortable by what you're eating?
No, she's never expressed that she's been uncomfortable by what I'm eating. She sees what I'm eating, and I make it in such a way that I enjoy it. And so, I think instead of her feeling discouraged by how I'm eating, I think sometimes she'll join in on what I'm eating, and she likes to variety what I eat. So, no, I never put pressure on her to change her lifestyle, and I say that this is for me because I need to be healthy. She's healthy, that's excellent. But I think I need to stay the course with this because it's what makes me feel the best. And as I mentioned, I don't discourage her from eating the food she eats because that's her choice, and I respect that.
Right. And I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Now, how is this affecting your children, if you don't mind me asking? And I'll tell you why I'm asking you this, because my children, they're quite funny. So, now they're becoming to have this fruit mindset. Like, if they hear that somebody's sick, well, they need to eat some fruit. You know, they're starting to become into this mindset. It's because they see us eating that way. And also, like my wife now, man, she's eating a lot of watermelon now. She's backed way off of meat. She's sitting over here across from me, so I know she's probably looking like, why are you bringing me into this? But you notice those things, and you notice that it's not only does it affect us, but it also affects them as well. So have you noticed anything in your children, or your children like making statements or comments or anything?
Yes, yes. So they see Daddy waking up in the morning making his fruit smoothie, and I hear them running, "Daddy smoothie!" And so not only am I making myself smoothies, I'm making them smoothies, and they think they're quite delicious, and I would agree. My smoothies generally are like blueberries and strawberries, and I blend it up, and it's just fantastic. So it's changed them in ways of kind of like the snacks they eat. They often want to eat the blackberries or whatever fruit variety we have in the refrigerator. So that has really inspired them, and I can notice a shift in some of the choices they make as far as foods are concerned.
Okay. Well, that's good. And I'm glad that they're experiencing that, because, especially we as parents, when they see the example coming from us, it's easier for them when they're younger to move into that role and to begin to do those things, especially when they saw daddy at his biggest. And now they see dad at his smallest and looking more healthier, and they notice that. So that's always going to be in the back of their mind. So, okay, so let's walk me through a day with you when it comes to your food. So let's start off with in the morning when you get up. Give us a couple of, you don't have to go way defined into the recipe, but let us know what you have like through a regular day.
Absolutely. So in the morning, I wake up, I take some supplements, multivitamins, and some other supplements. Then I drink about 16 ounces of key lime water, warm key lime water. After that, I have my first meal, which is about basically two smoothies back to back. So a smoothie is a meal for me. About 2 cups of blueberries, 2 cups of strawberries, and then I take organic plant-based protein powder. So I put 2 scoops in there. So I'm having 2 meals of those. My next 3 meals are kind of the same. I'm eating about 75 grams of kale, about a cup of chickpeas, and a cup of quinoa. My fourth meal is basically the same thing. And my last meal a day is 1 cup of chickpea and about 75 grams of kale. And so that's basically my whole nutrients for the whole day. Eat about 5 meals a day. I eat about every 2 hours, or when I'm feeling hungry. And throughout the day, I'm also drinking a lot of water. I'm drinking probably minimum of 60 to 80 ounces of water a day.
Wow. Okay, and so you do your workouts what, in the beginning of the day, middle of the day, end of the day? When do you work out?
So it varies. So I have more time in the evening with my families. I often get up a little earlier in the day. So I might get up as early as 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning to get to the gym or do my running. So typically in Houston, it's very hot right now. It's about 100 degrees on average outside. So I'll get my run in the morning, and then I might do my workouts on my lunch break, or if I have enough time in the morning, I'll do my workouts right after my run.
Okay, so you have a pretty active day. Your day is pretty full from what I see. So you have work, you have
Mhm.
children, and you have your workouts. Now, do you plan your day out? Like, I know that you're a pretty organized guy. Like, do you sit at the beginning of the week and work yourself through the week and like have a plan as to what you're doing? And do you also do your food like that? Do you have your food planned out for the week?
Great question. So, as far as my workouts, yes, those are already dictated and already scheduled for what day of the week I'm going to do them on. And then my half marathon training, that's scheduled based on the app that I'm using. My meals are really the same every day, just for simplicity. I think it'd be more effort to like have to calculate a lot of different foods to eat. So I eat the same thing every day just for simplicity purposes. And so the night before, I put my food in Tupperware, or I'll put my smoothies in jars, so that when I'm going either to the workplace or if I'm going out in the street to run errands, I always have my nutrients available to eat.
Okay. Well, man, I definitely appreciate you for being so open with us and being able to share your life with us because, as you know, it is a life change. What you are doing is a life change. So, with that, tell me how your life has changed. Like, what's your goals that you have for yourself? I know you have a marathon that you're ready to run. Um,
Yes,
but like, what future goals do you have in your mind? Whether that's with employment, do you want to do things in the field that you're doing now, like working out and health management and things like that? Like, what is your future that that you see with this?
absolutely. So I would like to use the experience that I've gained, or the success I've gained with this plant-based and fitness lifestyle, to help other people. A lot of people wonder, how can you transition from a sad American diet to a plant-based diet with fitness and still thrive? I've I've done that before. I've been successful with it, and I want to basically help other people do the same thing. I want to inspire them, motivate them, hold their hand, and walk them through the process of what it takes. I think it takes, it's mental, it's physical. It can be a lot of things, but I want to help other people make that transition from sad American diet to plant based diet streamlessly and efficiently and with care. And that's my goal.
Okay, so if I came to you like right now I'm putting you
Mhm.
on the spot. If I came to you right now and said, "Hey, man, I want to change my life. I want to learn how to eat better. I want to learn how to exercise." How would
Mhm.
you help me with that?
Absolutely. I think first it'd be nice to just get to know you, sit down with you, kind of figure out what's going on in your life right now. What are you doing for nutrition? What are you doing for your workouts? Kind of meet you where you are, honestly. And so once I figure out, where you are, how motivated you are, then we build a plan for you. And so that plan starts with nutrition. It starts with your lifestyle. And then once we figure out your nutritional level, we can start thinking about the fitness aspect of it. But I think primarily the nutrition is the most important part. I think fitness without the nutrition isn't as effective and doesn't wouldn't lead to longevity of life, essentially. And so once we have those two married, the fitness and the nutrition, and then really at that point, I give you the plan. It's time for you to execute it. But I'm not just going to give you a plan and let you lead you astray and say, okay, now figure it out. And we're going to have meetings often to see how you're doing. And then when I see that you're doing great, great, I'm going to keep on encouraging you. I'm going to keep on cheering you on. When I see that you need a little encouragement or you need a little support, then I'm going to be there to hold your hand and walk you through the process. And so I think me being a great leader and someone who's done it before and who's had great success, I can
Hmm.
help someone make that transition efficiently, and they have some great success with it.
Right. So if somebody wanted to, kind of like in a little bit of contact with you, like what are some platforms that you are on that they could kind of go and learn a little bit about you and see some, see your changes? Where could they go if they want to see that?
Absolutely. So my handle on most of those social medias is Leaf Life with Lawrence. So leaf like leaf on a tree, life with Lawrence. I can be found on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and then I also have a private Facebook group, basically where it's about plant-based nutrition and fitness. It's a group of like-minded individuals who basically support each other on their transition to this lifestyle. And that private group on Facebook is also called Leaf Life with Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm a part of that group too. Glad to be a part of it. And and I thank you so much for just being willing to open up. It's one thing to lose weight. It's another thing to change your life and keep it to yourself. It's
Mm.
harder to do those things and want to tell people about it. Like, I don't know about you. I know for me, I'm one of those blah persons. I mean, what you see is what you get. But a lot of people, they're not like me. They are more reserved, and maybe they don't want people to necessarily be in their business. But I appreciate people who are very structured like you, and who are willing to open up their life to be able to help people and give help bring the success to other people's lives. It's amazing. When I was younger, we didn't have things like this whatsoever. I mean, you just tried to do things on your own, and you sure didn't have people opening up, telling you where they were. You couldn't go and see pictures of people who were, 300 pounds and now they're 220 pounds. I mean, you didn't see those kind of things because we didn't have internet until, man, I guess it was about, was in our mid 20s or something like that. And so now you see the obesity. What is your thought about the obesity with young folk today?
Man, it's way out of control. I think each generation there's a little bit more and more obesity. I think the issue with that is the lack of education. You know, I think people realize that fast food or the sad American diet isn't healthy, but I don't think they understand what the long term consequences are if they keep on eating those things. So I think if people have more education, such as our younger people or younger community, I think it'd go a lot further to their success with beating obesity.
Mm. What would you tell a husband or a wife? So your wife is, she's pretty fit and stuff like that. But what would you tell someone whose wife or their husband may be obese, and they were changing their lifestyle, and their husband or their wife were still being complacent, still being sedentary, they were overweight? What advice would you give someone who may want to bring their spouse into this? How would you tell them to go about it?
Great question. I think the best advice I could give someone like that is be the example. Um, Keep doing what you're doing with the plant-based, fitness and plant-based lifestyle and fitness. Keep working on yourself, being a great example to your family, but don't push on them too much to take on the lifestyle that you chose to do. I think what's going to happen eventually is that they're going to see the benefits of that lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
in you. They're going to see that you have more energy. They're going to see you have more clarity of mind. They're going to see that you're healthier. They're going to see that you're more vibrant. They're going to see that you're thriving in life. And usually, when people see someone thriving in life and all those other positive benefits, they're going to want some of that. They're going to say, "Man, this person's really doing well." And the reason they're doing well is because of their lifestyle. So I'd say just be a light to them, be a shining example to them of what a plant based lifestyle can do for your life, and eventually they may adopt it, but it may take time because a lot of people aren't convicted that this lifestyle is the best for everyone. So just be an example, lead with love and be patient with them because eventually they'll come around if they want to.
Right. I think that's a great idea. And I speak about that all the time. The best book that you can be for someone is to live it. And when they see you, they're reading you. They're seeing what's going on with you. And so, things that I found in my life, especially in marriage with my wonderful wife, is you can't push your wife, or you can't push your spouse. You have to let them come around themselves, because that's really when they get it. At least that's how my wife is.
Mhm.
So, man, I just really do appreciate you just being so open for, a lot of times, being in an interview, man, you're vulnerable. Because you don't know what questions coming up next. You don't know what this brother's getting ready to ask. So, I do appreciate you so much being willing to open up your life. I see you on TikTok. Um, I see you on Instagram. I see you on Facebook. And, when I see what you do, how you put those recipes out, like you'll show what you're eating
Mhm.
for the day, when I see you doing those things and I see how organized you really are, it really does. It pushes me and it encourages me to do so even more. When I go to your Facebook group and I see how organized and detailed you have things, man, it just really calls me higher on even, what I'm doing. So I really do appreciate that, and being able to see that part of your life. So, man, I really do thank you again for just sharing yourself. I really do, and I really believe that you're going to do well in the future. I believe that you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be seeking you to learn from. So keep it up. I know that you're going to. Um, I know that you're the type that probably will overextend yourself, but just keep it up, man. I really am proud of you, and I'm glad to see. Now, do you have any plans of going anywhere else, or do you plan on remaining in Houston?
Yeah, Houston's home for me, man. I love it here. I love the weather. I love the people. I love the variety of things you can do to enjoy yourself and your family here in Houston. So I'll be here for a while.
Okay. All right then. Well, there you all have it, Lawrence Richardson. Hey, be sure and look him up on Facebook. I'm gonna post up all of his contact links. It is going to be in the description, so please go to him. If you have not subscribed or gotten onto his Facebook page and joined his private group, please do so. You will learn an awful lot in there, and it's just really been great. Hey, I'm glad that I got to meet you. As a brother, I really am. And like I said, we actually met on Fruit Up on.
Mhm.
I keep forgetting his last name. Bobby. What's his last name?
Bobby Smith.
Bobby Smith. On Bobby Smith, we actually got to meet on there, and it was just good to see your story, and I appreciate that so much. So, is there any one last thing that you would like to give as far as advice to someone who may be thinking about this kind of journey in their life?
Absolutely. So I think in this lifestyle, you have to think of it as a marathon, not a race. So there's going to be days where you're not doing so great, where it might be hard to stick to the diet, might be hard to stick to the lifestyle. You gotta really take it one meal, one day at a time. And so I would say if you make a mistake, get back up, dust yourself off. The next meal or the next day's opportunity to be successful with this. So I would say, you know, understand, remember your why, and let that fuel you on your journey. Because I think if you have a reason why, there is a why, it's going to allow you to stay closer to your goals. So remember your why, work hard every day, surround yourself with community, like minded people who are going to be there to help pick you up when you fall down. And, and enjoy the process as you go along it. Meet friends, look at different recipes, try different foods that are healthy for you. And I think if you try all those, marry those together, you have a lot of success in this lifestyle.
All right. Well, there you have it, Lawrence Richardson. Hey, we appreciate you very much. Thank you for your time away from your family and away from the things that you had planned for the day. And, we'll hook back up again. This is just a first of many, first of many. And so when you come out, um, busting out like Tony Atlas and all them guys looking like them. We'll have to get you back on here and so you can bust some moves so we can see the poses and stuff. So hey, but I really do hope that things go well for you with your run that you're training for, and I really think it's great that you're aspiring to do stuff like that, and not just sitting back and doing the typical American thing, which is to sit back and be obese and eat as much as you want to eat. So if you don't have anything else that you'd like to add, we'll go ahead and say goodbye right now. You have anything else?
Yeah, Edward, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on your platform. It's really, truly been an honor and a pleasure to get to know you. We're very like-minded and very similar in personality, so it's really been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to building our friendship up even more.
All right. Well, I definitely appreciate this time with you, and I don't take it for granted. So, hey, you all, there you go. Lawrence Richardson, please support him. Go to his page. He may be coming out with YouTube at some point, so be looking for him. But you will find him on his TikTok, his Instagram. You will find him on his Facebook private group. And so from this point until the next time that we get together again, we say peace to you all, and you all take care. All right. Bye-bye.